ResortLoop.com is proudly sponsored by Joffrey's Coffee and Tea Company. Indulge in a taste from the South Pacific. Joffrey's new Disney Parks and Resorts blend, Alani, brings the islands to you. Blended with Hawaiian Kona beans and roasted to perfection, Alani is buttery smooth with a tropical sweet aftertaste. Available at Alani or Joffreys.com.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
We are now approaching the Contemporary Resort Hotel. If you are exiting and would like to reboard the monorail later today, please receive a hand stamp as you exit the platform.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. I'm Tim Scott.
I'm Bob Collar.
This is ResortLoop.com. This is episode 327, and Bob, today we're having one of my favorite shows.
The greatest Roastmaster on the face of the planet.
Yes.
Is with us today. We are just thrilled. We absolutely love having him on the show. Go ahead and introduce him, Tim.
Everybody joining us again on ResortLoop.com, head Roastmaster from Joffrey's Coffee and Tea Company, Chris deMezzzo.
Hi, Chris.
How you doing, guys?
Chris,
good.
We're doing great. We absolutely love checking in with you. You have such worldwide adventures, and you always have new coffees. And you know us, we always enjoy the story behind the coffees, not just the flavor of the coffees themselves, which is always fantastic.
Yeah, you guys are going to give me a big head with that introduction.
Hey, it's true. You know, I got to tell you, you guys hit a home run with the Valor blend. Such a bold, fantastic cup of coffee. Great cause that you're giving proceeds to as well. And it's just so good. It's very bold and very strong, but yet still as smooth can be. I'm having some of that right now, as a matter of fact.
I'm telling you, the response that we've had with that coffee has been overwhelmingly positive. I can't tell you how pleased we are. We actually are going around the country and introducing this coffee to serve in some of the DFACs, which are military acronyms for dining facilities.
Oh, wow.
In certain Navy bases and Army bases and Air Force bases. And when we are finished installing our equipment and we brew coffee for the soldiers, the troops, the response that we get from them, they are so grateful because they've been drinking bad coffee for so long.
I can imagine, yeah.
Actually want to come up and embrace us because
Absolutely.
God, this is delicious. And, you know, if anybody deserves, you know, some special treatment, it's these guys, the men and women that serve our country. And I mean, they're so grateful and so humble. You know, it's just, you know, I love making people happy. And, you know, this is taking it up a notch. Because they ask for so little and do so much. You know, it's great. And the coffee is, you know, is exactly what you want in a blend like that, where you do have a boldness to it, but it is so smooth that, I mean, you drink that all day long, and you know, there's no reaction in your stomach from a little bit too much acid, because we stop. You know, we take that roast just in dark enough where the acid's reduced, but not that dark where you burn your sugars and turn them into acid and it becomes bitter or astringent. So, I mean, it's just a really, really nice, well-balanced cup of coffee. And the aroma coming off of it, man, we can pull a soldier from 200 yards away.
You're exactly right. It is just so... I can't even explain how good it is. And I will say this, and we're not going to name any names. It's bold and strong, but not burnt like that other coffee company that try and say, you know, they've got a dark roast that's bold and strong. This stuff it's bold, it's strong. I mean, you can feel it when you drink it, but then it's so smooth. And like you said, no bitter aftertaste, no. And I've got ulcers, folks.
He does.
I've got ulcers, and I can drink your coffee all day long. None of that acidity that'll tear up my stomach. So
Now, Chris, you hit the sweet spot with that one.
Yes, I'm extremely pleased with the response to that, and it's been a hit wherever we show it. I mean, we're not just showing it in the military; we're showing it to some other outlets as well. And it's like it's one of those things where you always hope that what you're doing is going to come out, the way you want it to, and you always hope that your customer is going to love it. And then when you come up with something like this and you get that great surprise that it's overwhelmingly positive response, then it's like, okay, well, I don't want to just deny everybody else and just channel it into this one opportunity. So we opened it up to other venues, and lo and behold, they like it too. So it's great.
that's awesome. Why don't we talk about, since you're talking about the new stuff you have, what about this new Disney blend that you guys just came out with? Trattoria Al Forno?
Oh, that one was, when did that? That's the restaurant that replaced Cuisina on the boardwalk.
Right.
Capital restaurant. And that's got some really nice Ethiopian naturals and some other Central American coffees that want to talk about a multi-dimensional, talk about peaks and valleys in one cup. There's a whole smorgasbord of flavors going on in that cup. The natural gives it some fruit. The centrals give it a mild acidity, and then you've got some really, really good caramely nuances in the background. And it's just the food in that place is off the charts. And they've done something unique in there where they have when that restaurant was in the design stages, and the beverage innovation team and I always work together to say, what kind of statement do we want to make with the coffee being served? It was an opportunity, and I pitched an idea, and they loved it. I said, why don't we, because it's an Italian restaurant and everybody, kind of associates espresso with Italian, I said, why don't we do something different and do an espresso menu? So instead of having one espresso, let's give them a choice of 3 different espressos. And I'll fashion them after, a northern style, a middle of the island, and then a southern espresso style, southern Italy espresso style. And that's exactly what we did. And it seems to be very, very popular. We get a lot of good positive feedback from on our website from guests that have dined there. Because, once they blow you away with the menu and how the food is, and then you get either that one great cup of coffee, or you have your choice of 3 really nice espressos, and the tiramisu to die for. How else would you want to end a meal?
Exactly. Yeah. But see, Tim, this is what I'm talking about. This is why the intro was the way it was. This is the greatest roaster in the world. Most guys will be like, well, we're going to throw together an Italian blend.
Exactly.
And, no.
Or something
how
dark.
many did you say? What, 3, 4? What are you saying here?
3.
Wow.
3, yeah. So there you go. All the regions of Italy covered with Joffrey's Coffee and Tea. Man. Oh, my gosh.
I'm anxious to try that now. I was before, but man, now.
If you have not had the pleasure of dining there, you need to.
Maybe in a couple of weeks.
I'm a thoroughbred Tally, originally from Jersey. Been in Florida for 30 years, but I'm very picky when it comes to Italian.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's not, up to my standard, I'll tell you, this one, I tell you, go have a meal there.
There you go.
You won't be disappointed.
The Chris deMezzzo seal of approval.
There you go.
I love it.
Absolutely. What do you guys got going on over at Tea Traders?
Right now, we are doing some sparkling teas. I have. I can tell you that. What is this? May, June. Come July, there's going to be some exciting new things going on over there. Some new drinks being introduced. One of them is the one I can tell you about, because there's not any secret concoctions going on with that, is we're going to introduce Cascara. And Cascara is the tea you make out of the actual pulp of the coffee fruit. When coffee's growing on the tree, it actually looks like a cherry. It, starts out green, turns yellow, and then when it's fully ripe, it gets a beautiful deep red.
Mm-hmm.
And before, the farmers, that was a byproduct of producing coffee. They would go back out into the fields and they would use it as mulch, or they would compost it, introduce California red worms, and the worms eat the pulp, and as it excretes, it comes out as what we call humus, which is really, really rich black soil, full of nutrients. So, I don't know, I guess it was maybe 4 or 5 years ago, in El Salvador, of all places, somebody decided that they were going to dry this cascara, this cherry, the skin of the bean, and brew it as a tea. And, I had heard of it, and I kind of held off trying it until I got back, right after I got back from Ethiopia, actually when I was on one of those long car rides on a very bumpy road. I was talking to another roaster that I was traveling with, and he had asked me if I had tried it, and I said no. And he says, "Oh, you really should. It tastes like this." And I said, "Huh, okay." I thought it was one of those weird fads. And then I got back and I ordered some from someone I know that's a direct importer from El Sal, and I tried it, and I was very impressed with it. For a couple of reasons. One, it tasted good. And two, it's one of those things that I think I could take and do a lot of different things with. It reminds me of like a cranberry tea. It's got a tartness with a fruit background. But I mean, it's one of those things that is really nice as a hot drink. But if I put it in with some nice San Pellegrino and maybe a little drop of whatever kind of flavoring syrup, I would blow you away.
Oh, that sounds fantastic.
It's very, very healthy because it's got all those same things that a green bean coffee extract has.
Really?
So,
interesting.
Yeah. Yep. It's loaded with all the polyphenols and oh God, I can never remember flavonoids and all the other great things that are in coffee and tea that help keep us healthy.
Oh, wow, all those antioxidants and all that kind of
There
stuff, huh?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And isn't it amazing? All these new studies coming out now that coffee is so good for you, and it's a cancer prohibiting drink. Tea's always been known to be good for you, and so yeah, I mean, why not get it from the guys who make it the best, right?
Oh God, there used to be horror stories about.
Exactly. Now all of a sudden, it's the best thing in the world.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to stunt your growth. I mean, it's amazing.
Well, hey, listen, talk about nice, cool drinks. We've had an awful lot of our listeners in Looper Nation posting pictures of their Flower and Garden Festival Tiki Torch drink from you guys.
Chris, they're raving about this.
We've had so many pictures sent to us about this passion fruit blend and Grey Goose vodka.
You know what, guys? I got to give credit where credit's due. That's our team over in Disney that does that. We give them free reign to come up with their recipes, and that one is my lovely assistant Deanna and her partner Nancy. It's probably the two girls that came up with that one. So I got to give credit where credit. I can't take the credit for that one.
That's what makes such a great team, though. That makes a great team.
I'm sure you can take credit for bringing them on board, though.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. You guys are hiring the right talent.
Exactly.
So that is awesome.
coffee as much as we do.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Chris-
Exactly.
Chris, can you tell us about your new single origin, your quarterly coffee?
Yeah. Right now, we've got a Guatemala Las Jasmine. And it's coming out of that area of Guatemala, the northwest, where it's extremely remote and hard to reach. It's, I want to say it's a little bit southeast of Antigua and a little bit north. Let's get my map in my head squared away. A little bit to the east of Huehuetenango, which is two of the really, really great producing areas of Guatemala. They're most of those areas, because of how remote they are, all do their wet milling on the farm, which is exactly what this farm does. It's a group. I forgot how many farmers it is that make up this co-op. But they are, they're one of the co-ops that are really, really doing a good job. A lot of times when you have a co-op that gets together, they just let anybody in because they figure the more people we let in, the more dues are going to be paid and the more money we're going to make.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas these guys, on the other hand, actually screen the farmers that want to. If you want to participate and be a member of this co-op, you have to have a commitment to produce great coffee, and you have to be able to, have a commitment to not only produce great coffee, but to produce it sustainably. So that means that you've got to take care of the land and the people that work that land with you, which is great. Which
Right.
is what, any roaster would want. So these guys do a really good job. They take the information they get from their agencies, like Anna Cafe, and they make sure that they bring that information back to the farmers. And not only bringing it back, but when you're in some of these areas, these poor guys, they're not, some of them might not have had, a really good exposure to a lot of education. So it's really important to make sure that you don't just drop off a flyer, but you make sure the farmer understands what it is that you're trying to tell him, so that they can use that information to, make those improvements that they might need to make on their farms and produce more and better coffee, and everybody's happy. It's,
Absolutely.
All the way down.
Yeah, and it's a really, really, typical. I wouldn't say typical, but I mean it's typical of a good Guatemala / Antigua style coffee, meaning it is a very, very clean, nice little bits of fruit and flour, and another one of those coffees that you put it on your desk and you start working, and then about an hour later you're walking back to the coffee machine and you're like, darn, this is the fourth trip I made this hour. Without even realizing it.
Uh-huh.
That's the beauty of it. You're like, man, this must be really good. I'm going back for the fourth time.
Yeah. Tim and I know all about that.
Oh, yeah.
We are constantly French pressing your coffee at work. Absolutely.
All the time. Chris, will that be the coffee available in the parks this summer?
I beg your pardon?
Is that the coffee that will be available in the parks this summer?
It will be, yes, up until September.
Okay.
I believe. And then...
Oh, I like where this is going.
Oh, yeah. When in January, I took a trip to Kenya. And I found up in Nyeri, at about 5,400 feet, a couple of farms that had some micro lots of some of the Kenyas that when I tell you, this doesn't happen often, when I cup this coffee, I saw God.
Oh my gosh.
I looked at the guy next to me, and who happened to be my importer and his agent, and I looked at him and I said, pinch me.
Oh.
I'm dreaming. I haven't tasted a coffee like this in years.
Oh, I'm excited.
And, well, you're not. I mean, oh my God. You know, I've always loved Kenyan coffee. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Guats and Antiguas.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, I mean, I don't know. If you had to ask me, it would be really hard. I love all coffees because, you know, you each bring something different to the table, some, you know, different nuance or something. But my Kenya was my first love, you know, and you never forget your first love.
Right.
So, you know, my eyes rolled back in my head. You know, I started humming. I was like, I have to have this. How much do you have? And he said, well, we have this. I said, I want it. It's mine.
Wow.
Said, okay. Calm down. And then we traveled a little bit further up country, and I found one more lot that blew me away. So naturally, I bought that lot too. So that's what we're going to finish out the year with. From September through December will be these Kenya micro lots.
Wow. It's going to be a spectacular summer for coffee, Bob.
Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Whoa.
You can't go wrong with either of those coffees, the Guat or the Kenya.
Wow. Now, I got to ask you, because a lot of people like the iced coffee. Will these make good iced coffee? Which one would you, out of all of your blends, which one would be the best for like an iced coffee for this summer?
I personally, and again, everybody has their own. I personally, either the Guatemala or the Kenya, for me, would be one of my first choices. Now, when you talk about iced coffee, you have iced coffee, which is now taking coffee and chilling it somehow, or you have the cold brew, which is actually steeping that coffee in cold water for a longer period of time. And someone like yourself, where you say the acidity might negatively affect your digestive system, then buy yourself a toddy maker, and then you would have, you know, a nice full-bodied cup of coffee. But because you're brewing it with cold water, you're not bringing out the acidity of the coffee.
Oh, okay.
And, you know, it won't bother your stomach as badly, and it makes it's like a concentrate. So you can use that. You can dilute it with water to the desired strength of brewed coffee, or you can use it to make really, really killer cold coffee drinks. Iced coffee is merely taking coffee and cooling it, and then now they've come out with a bunch of different devices. I was at the specialty coffee show with my beautiful wife in April. It was in Atlanta this year, so it was local, so we ran up there, and there's a bunch of devices now that are out on the market where you can pour the coffee. It's a cylinder you put in your freezer, and you freeze this cylinder, and you pour your cup of coffee into the brewer. And let's say it goes in at 198. It chills the coffee down to like 68 degrees without diluting it in 60 seconds.
60 seconds.
So then all you do is, you know, either put your ice cubes in it, or if you're like me and you really wouldn't want to dilute it, you would make coffee ice cubes, and then you would dilute, you know, actually put the coffee ice cubes into the cooled coffee, and then you would have a really solid, delicious cup of iced coffee.
Ooh, that's a great idea. Coffee ice cubes. I love that idea.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because then you're not diluting anything.
Yeah.
Again, Tim.
Yes.
This man is brilliant. What are you kidding me?
We've called him this before, the coffee sommelier.
No, I've just been doing it for a few days, that's all.
Hey, Chris, if I was going to make a cold brew in the French press, how long would I let it steep?
Probably, at least, I would try it at about 4 hours.
4 hours? Okay.
Yeah. But I would recommend, and they're so easy and popular now. I would recommend doing it in going out and getting a toddy maker. They're at or something that's like a toddy maker. Now you can buy them in Target, Bed Bath and Beyond. I was amazed when we were in Seattle. We stopped in a Target to buy tape, believe it or not, to tape up some stuff we were doing. And the aisle that has, here in Florida, you walk into Target and you go down the aisle of brewing equipment, and there's like maybe a quarter of an aisle of different coffee machines. Out in Seattle, it looked like you were in a coffee warehouse. Oh, wow. They had every type of coffee and tea brewer. It looked like almost like you were walking down the aisle at the show. It was quite a selection. That's the coffee mecca out there.
That's true.
To do it right, get something like a toddy maker, because the grind is a little bit different. In a toddy, you use almost like a regular drip grind. In your French press, you're going to use a coarse grind, and you might have to steep it longer because of the coarseness of the grind. I don't know if it would extract as well or as quickly. It might extend the extraction time for you, so you might have to soak it, 8 to 12 hours to get the desired strength out of it.
Oh, okay.
Because of the coarseness of the grind.
All right.
And then if you have the toddy maker, then you don't have to worry about it. Whatever regular grind you use, boom, that's what you use.
Yeah, I'm looking on Amazon right now, and it looks like toddy makers are, anywhere from like $30 and up, which is not too bad.
Yeah.
For a personal one, yeah.
It's a little plastic thing with a filter, a little plug in a glass jar. And theoretically, guys, you could do this yourselves. You could take any kind of a container and put your ground coffee and pour your water in, and let that soak overnight. You want about 8 to 12 hours, and then you could filter it through any kind of a mesh material, through a regular strainer. Up doing it the same way. Now it's messy, not as convenient as the toddy, but anybody can make cold brew.
Okay.
All it is just soaking the grounds in cold water and extracting it slowly, and hopefully extracting desirable components and not extracting the undesirable components, which again are your bitters, your acids.
That is awesome. What about real quick? What about your teas? What specific tea would you recommend for cold to serve like an iced tea?
We have the green blackberry jasmine, which is a green sencha with naturally blackberry and jasmine flavoring. It's delicious and refreshing. Naturally, you have your raspberry, which everybody likes. And believe it or not, one of the new ones coming out is an Earl Grey, which is one of the most populars. And as I mentioned earlier, that cascara is phenomenal. It's that tartness is just so refreshing over ice. And then if you really want to make it like something that's real popular right now, it's akin to the flavored waters, as long as you don't put any syrup in it, is instead of using water, you use club soda. So you'd steep the cascara, let it cool, and then you add a little club soda, and now you've got a sparkling. I want to talk about refreshing. Oh Lord! Yeah. And then I just take a few drops, because I'm not a person that likes a lot of sweet, but just to enhance it, I would take let's just say it was a peach. I would take a little bit of a peach syrup, and I would put, maybe a teaspoon, just so I get that hint of the peach with the natural tart fruit flavors in the cascara. And, nothing better on a hot day.
Wow.
Sit there, drink this. It's unbelievable.
That sounds fantastic. Tim, if it ever warms up here in Northeast Ohio,
Exactly.
we'll be able to have that. Right now, we're still huddled around our hot coffee
Our
up here, Chris, so trying to stay warm.
Oh, Chris, I'm sure you
Be
can't.
up beginning next month. I hope it's still not cold.
No, thanks. Chris, I'm sure you can't talk about anything in detail, but since we're wrapping up Flower and Garden, are you already looking ahead to a food and wine?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
I'm sure no
We're
details
very excited
yet,
about that.
If you like the drinks you saw at Flower and Garden, you're going to love the ones you see at Food and Wine.
Oh.
Now that's a tease right
Man,
there.
that
There's
is.
a tease.
We'll have you back to
tough.
talk about that, but my goodness.
That's all I can tell you.
Well, listen, can you tell us, before we let you go, we got to find out, you guys are now partnering with Disney for some conservation, right?
Yes. Actually, it was about a little over a year ago. I got a message from our alliance partner, Liaison, that there was a group that Disney's been funding this group for a while on certain projects that are protecting the rainforest in the Amazon. And they asked me, would you be interested in getting in touch with these guys and seeing, how what they're doing? And I said, to be honest with you, I've never heard of them. And I went to a couple of my importers who work the areas, and I had never heard of them. So just like anything, I said, well, sure, I'll talk to them, but I don't know anything. So before, I'll ever get involved with something, I always want to make sure I know who I'm dealing with. So I asked my importer that, deals in that area, said, can we go to Peru and go check these guys out? He says, of course. So we get on a plane and we fly out to Peru and met with this group of people from Conservation International, and they're the real deal. They are working in a region of the Amazon called Alto Mayo. Another, again, kind of out there. Again, it's the Amazon, of course. But this is a bunch of guys that are working to help these farmers understand that they don't have to clear cut the land to be able to grow coffee. That coffee grows just fine under a shade canopy, and that they also don't have to use a lot of pesticides and fertilizers. They can farm this organically. So we went out and, again, I was very impressed with the people from Conservation International, and more impressed with the relationship they have with that actual group of farmers. You can tell there was a genuine respect and admiration for one another, which was great to see. And the coffee was good, but there are new group of guys. They've only been doing it about 3 or 4 years, I believe. And I think last year was the first crop they actually had enough of to sell. Unfortunately, they made a newbie mistake and sold everything they had to the first buyer.
Oh, really?
That's okay. We're going back next month at the end of June, and this year we have we told them, hey, we're coming back next year. Don't sell anything till we get here.
Good.
And I've been going back and forth with Disney in Burbank, which is where their corporate is, and also working with the beverage innovation team here in Florida to see where we can use this coffee, providing, of course, that the quality is where we need it to be. But we would like to be able to serve this coffee, and I think a natural fit for it would be a park like Animal Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep, because, it's a great story. It's conservation, it's shade-grown, bird-friendly, it's organic, all those things that, Animal Kingdom, promotes as well. And, depending on how much they have and how good it is, because there's different, processes, and I won't get into the details, but there might only be a certain amount that is, what I would consider, something that we would want to serve to guests. So, depending on how much of that there is, we can decide at that point whether it's just going to be served at a resort, maybe just one restaurant, or perhaps if there was enough, maybe it would go, resort-wide. Or park-wide. We don't know. So this remains to be seen, but hopefully there's going to be some great coffee, and we're going to be able to bring some of that in.
Outstanding. Hey, Chris, I understand that you have a discount for us.
I do.
Awesome.
For the life of me, I know it's 15%. Good until May 31st, I believe. And please correct me if I'm wrong. I saw the message from Marilyn come across.
No, you're absolutely right. And here's the thing.
So far, so good.
15% off is fantastic, but if you order $50 of the coffee or more, the shipping's free, so it's getting like another pound.
Absolutely.
So that's what I always recommend to do.
And what is that coupon code word there, Chris?
Yeah.
May Looper.
Good through the end of this month, through the end of May, 15% off. Chris, thank you so much for that coupon code for us.
And my pleasure, guys.
Absolutely. And real quick, make sure you guys get in on that. Make sure you get in on the 15% off by the end of this month. And don't forget to go to Joffreys.com and sign up for the sweepstakes that you guys have for the Disney giveaway. That ends at the end of the month, too. So make sure you guys all sign up for that. We want a Looper to win that. That'd be awesome.
Absolutely.
And, very cool. You get a trip to Walt Disney World.
Includes your hotel, the airfare, the park tickets. Outstanding.
Sign up. Hey, I have one little tidbit I would like to share with you guys. That,
Absolutely.
May or may not already be aware of. I've been on the road a lot, and just got back, and I had to do a training. We were speaking about Animal Kingdom for a new restaurant that's opening there. It's next to Pizzafari, and
Tiffin's?
It's called Tiffin's. Tiffins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And guys, I've opened a few restaurants in my 20 plus years of being on property. They went all out on this one.
Really?
Really?
Is gorgeous.
Oh.
It is gorgeous. Now, I can't tell you too much about it, or I'm going to get a phone call as soon as I hang up.
Right.
What I can tell you is it is gorgeous. It's got a wraparound porch. It's got a dining room that has got some of the theming from another area of the park. Again, I've got to be careful if somebody's going to come and drive me. But the menu is going to be fantastic. And while I was doing my coffee training in the kitchen, I saw a bunch of familiar faces that they've taken from some of the other great signature restaurants that are now going to be working in the kitchen here at Tiffin's. They did that test meal yesterday. I think they're opening to the public probably in maybe a week or so.
Okay.
If I'm not, I might leave a little bit. But if you're planning a trip in the near future and your travels take you to Animal Kingdom, this is a restaurant you're going to want to check out.
Excellent.
There is an
Tiffin's.
inside tip you're not going to get from anywhere else.
Over the top on this one. It is gorgeous.
Wow.
It is gorgeous.
And that's over at the Animal Kingdom.
Animal Kingdom in the park.
Excellent. We'll have to check that out, Tim.
Absolutely.
Tim, that is all I have for our good friend and the greatest Roastmaster on the face of the planet, Chris. Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
You're very welcome, gentlemen.
Everybody, thanks for joining us. I'm Tim Scott. You can find me all over social media, and you can always find me at the website, ResortLoop.com.
And don't forget to like us over there on Facebook, rate us on iTunes, and what else should folks do, Tim?
Everyone, please go out there and share the gateway to the magic.
See you, everybody. With 4 theme parks, 25 resort hotels, hundreds of dining and shopping locations, and seemingly innumerable special events and ticket options, planning a trip to Walt Disney World can seem overwhelming. That's why the ResortLoop.com podcast has teamed up with People Mover Travel to help you get the most magic out of your Disney vacation. People Mover Travel will walk you through every aspect of your next Disney trip, from ensuring you get the best discounts to FastPass Plus and dining reservations and so many other things. Best of all, there is no fee for their service. That's right, you get your very own expert Disney vacation planner at no cost to you. For more information and to request a free, no-obligation quote, visit peoplemovertravel.com.